Hello, Ventiso. My name is Gabriella Rojas. I am from Venezuela, and I'm super excited to be here with you today. I will share with you an original resource, and the title of my presentation is Phonics Instruction Using Greenix and Ham Rap. Yes, as you heard it, it is a rap song. Okay, so to start off, we could say that there are many approaches to teaching phonics to ESL young learners. However, the challenge nowadays is to keep them engaged while we lay the foundations for second language acquisition. So ESL practice lately has gone from teacher-centered to much more student-centered approaches. And from tell them to memorize long lists of decontextualized linguistic forms to value more language that is actually embedded in context. So, with all that said, what you're about to see is an adaptation of Greenix and Ham, the original story by Dr. Seuss, first published in 1960, and that it was very, very popular, into a much more contemporary music genre applied for phonics instruction. So, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you like it. Greenix and Ham by Dr. Seuss. Hit it!
That Sam I am, I do not like him. That Sam I am, I do not like him.
Do you like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. So you really don't like green eggs and ham? I said I don't like them, Sam I am. Would you like them here or there? Or would you like them anywhere? I wouldn't like them here or there. No, I wouldn't like them anywhere. Would you like them in a house? Or would you like them with a mouse? I do not like them in a house. No, I do not like them with a mouse. Would you eat them in a box? Or would you eat them with a fox? Not in a box, not with a fox. Not in a house, not with a mouse. I would not eat them here or there, cause I wouldn't eat them anywhere. I would not eat green eggs and ham. Why don't you get it, Sam I am? Would you in the car? Eat them, here they are. You may like them, you will see. I know you may like them in a tree. A train. Would you on a train? Not in a train, not in a tree, not in a car, son, let me be. I could not in a box. I could not with a fox. I will not eat them in the rain. I will not eat them on a train. That's Sam I am, I do not like him. That's Sam I am, I do not like him.
All right, so now that you have just seen a clip of the video, let's talk about how did we go from a book to a rap song. First off, we believe that contemporary music genres would help us to connect with younger audiences as children and teenagers. And also at the end, it was kind of like intended to become a challenging class for teachers so that students could follow up the lyrics. And that was fun to see and to do. Then I have to say that the song was adapted by me as English teacher and also produced by Alfredo Salas, who is a music teacher as well, and he has worked with children too. And so that caused it from the very beginning, we had an idea of what we wanted to do with the song. Because even though it was an artistic work, a work of art, it had always pedagogical reasons. And so that caused that we took many decisions and we took into account so many technical aspects that were considered in the making of the song. First off, this was an urban music genre. This is a trap basic song, and this is an original beat. You will not find it anywhere on internet because we got it from the inspiration that we got first reading the story. So we're pretty proud of that. Then the tonality, the song was made in D minor tonality, and it has a lot of minor chords. So that caused that the song also wasn't so happy, but rather had like this feeling of like a suspicious vibe, or that something was gonna happen at the end, and that was kind of fun too. Then the speed of the song was made at 130 BPM, so it wasn't so fast because remember, this was intended for English as a second language learners. Then it had to be appealing for children because urban music sometimes is not so in rap. So in order to make it more childish-like, the melody was made on the basis of instruments like xylophone and chimes that we used. So at the bottom, you might listen to some bells ringing. That was fun too, for children. And also the lyrics had to be audible, so the voices, when we got the voice upon the music, it had to be pretty cleared, and the pronunciation had to be pretty cleared for students to listen, and they could learn from it, and they could repeat. So that caused that the volume in the voice was higher and clearer than the music. And we just added some little effects on voice. Now it's a trend on urban music, rap, trap, use a lot of auto-tune and effects on voices, but we didn't add much of it for the purpose that I already mentioned. And then at the end, the legible lyrics that were in the music video, so we could have the chance to listen and also read at the same time that we were listening. So what we hear and what we see, we can somehow make that association cognitively. And that's what the lyrics had to be in the video. Then the adaptation of those lyrics. It was kind of fun because in the original story, there were some major vocabulary sets, and we took that into account, and we kind of like poured them out into the song and exaggerated them, and we repeated many, many times to kind of like make a game, so we could play with lyrics and students could have fun repeating them over and over again. So among those major vocabulary sets, there were some minimal pairs, which are words from the same phonological environment, but they have an alteration in one of those sounds. These sets of words are box and fox, for example, and ham, Sam, car, dark, tree, sea, may, say, house, mouse, rain, train, boat, goat, and they rhyme too. So that was fun. All right, so let's talk about the theoretical framework, which were pretty much the solid basement foundations for the resource. First, what I like to call the cognitive implications, and for that I consider the theory of correlation of music, language, and the brain by Patel in 2008. In his work, he states that language is an ability to form learned sound categories as well as music is. So it is possible to extract regularities from rhythmic and melodic sequences, to integrate incoming elements, and to extract nuanced emotional meaning from acoustic signals. This is basically coding, decoding, and coding back again in the system. Then we could demonstrate that we could use songs and tonality in order to have a better assimilation of linguistic patterns, stress and intonation, what we call prosody, through rhythm and rhyme. Then further in his work, Patel states that within our minds, there are two systems that perform remarkably similar interpretative feats, converting complex acoustic sequences into perceptually discrete elements, such as words and chords. I would say language and music, organized into hierarchical structures that convey rich meanings. I want to stop here for a second and say that audience is not learning music only when listening to this resource. This is rather our audience is learning about language and reinforcing linguistic structures through the music. Okay, so music is just the channel. Music it just serves as the wrap-in for the present. But what we care about the most is the present that is inside. Then we've got the methodological implications. I consider the model of Synthetic Phonics Instruction by the National Reading Panel. They consider 5 essential components when reading. And I have to say that this model is still used in the US education system to teach children how to read. So among those elements are vocabulary, spelling, phonics, phonemic awareness when we've got some alterations in sound, and fluency. Furthermore, we've got a quote, pretty interesting, but basically refers that phonics instruction, or when we're learning, teaching kids how to read, we basically go from small units of language, and then systematically we add some other units of language and meaning So we go from small to big systematically. Furthermore, we've got the affective implications. For this, I took into consideration Krashen's approach of effectiveness for second language acquisition. In his work, he basically states that there is a necessity for an affective filter and the lowering of anxiety for a much more enjoyable process and a meaningful learning at last. Then I'd like to quote Wolf in 2006 when he states that some of the most important findings from neuroscience have been in the area of the role of emotion in learning and memory. So two small but powerful structures deep within each hemisphere called the amygdala regulate our emotional responses. These emotional responses have the ability to either impede or enhance learning. Okay? So regarding the application of this resource in English class and for phonics instruction, I have to say that before presenting the video to my students, they were already familiar with the original story. I mean, we had some storytelling before. So they were already familiar with the characters, the plot, what was going to happen in the story. But most important, they were familiar with the words, I mean, the vocabulary that we had in the song. Then we watched the video for a couple of times. I have to say that this resource was created for one student in particular, and since it worked, I replicated the same lesson plan strategies with some other group of students that I had. They were children too, all of them. Then we watched the story after the video for a couple of times, and I got some material and I asked them questions with the material presentation from what they had just seen. In this material, we tried to identify some set of rhyming words. I did this using flashcards. You're about to see that. So for instance, I went like, okay, so fox rhymes with, and mouse rhymes with, and they had to finish the rhyme. Then we played for a couple of times after with the lyrics. So students had the chance to create their own songs. Even though it wasn't a rap song, whatever that came up to his mind, they were able to do it because they mastered the rhyming already. And most important, with the phonics instruction, we established the differences between those words from the same set, I mean from the minimal pairs. I'm gonna give you an example that is on screen. When we work with phonics, we basically are making the relation, I mean, we associate the association of what we listen, I mean, the phoneme, the sound, with what we read or what we see, the grapheme, okay? So we don't call letters by their names like A, B, or C, or like spelling, but we call letters by the way how they sound. So in this minimal pair, this set of words, we've got the same phonological environment, and we can establish a pattern, consonant, vowel, consonant. For instance, in the first, we've got b-ox, and then the second one, we've got f-ox, okay? Box and fox. But when we work or we have a phonics instruction, we're able to make an alteration in one of those sounds so that students can, if they have learned the pattern, they can recognize, make the association, and replace that language feature as the sound b. Okay? They are able to identify that and read it correctly because they already mastered the previous pattern. Okay? So this is basically reading by association.
Box, fox.
Perfect. Yes. Points on that. 2 points on that. You just won 2 points. Box and fox. I want to see my fox. I want to go in the box. I want to get.
No.
Now, Rory. We're in row. Okay. Well,
I can see
another.
the fox. I can see the fox.
I can see the box. I can see the fox. I can see the fox inside that box. Whoa. Can you guess out?
Tree, C.
Yeah.
Tree, C. Tree.
I can see in the tree.
We can see the tree. No, I know. We can see.
The sea.
We can see the. We can see the sea. We can say sea.
I can see the sea. I can see the tree.
We can see
Whoa.
a tree.
Okay,
No,
very
I can see a tree. I
Yeah?
can see the tree. I can see the tree.
Oh, awesome. I like that one. I loved it. You're good at this. You're good at rapping. I can see
Dark
my
car. Dark car.
oh,
I can see the dark. I can see the car.
I can see the dark. I can see the car. Oh, I like that one. I really like that one. Would you like them in a Would you like them with a So we got two words. Talks, box, fox. Would you like them in a
Box.
box? That's A, B, or C? Box, box. A, B, or C?
B.
B, perfect. Would you like them with a Would you like them with a very good fox? Is it fox A, B, or C?
C.
Would you like them in the dark? Would you like them in the It rhymes with dark. You got three options. Bar, car, or war. Bar, car, or war.
Car.
Car. Is it A, B, or C?
B.
Hey, you're ready. You may like them. You will see. It rhymes with C. Se parece a la palabra sí, rima. You may like them in a bee, in a tree, in a three, in a tree. Very good. Is it A, B, or C? What option? Which option? A, B, or C?
B.
So let's talk about the results that we had from the application of this resource in English class and for phonics instruction. I believe that research succeeded in 3 levels and were the same levels as in the theory that we discussed before. First off, the cognitive implications, the methodological, and the affective level or implications. As you could see in the videos, there is indeed an affective filter and like a lowering of anxiety. So it doesn't feel, when we're like working with this, it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm afraid of what comes next or the question, because the kid got engaged and we saw it. He even started jumping. He was pretty excited. He started to sing to the lyrics, and he even started making up his own rhymes from the words that he had just learned. So sometimes reading might be a little slow at the beginning and kids could get frustrated, but motivation and keep them engagement is key. Okay, we are building real rapport at this point, and if children don't like what you're doing in class, they will let you know. And if they like what you're doing, we're doing together in class, they would let you know as well to do that again. So motivation is key when we're trying to set up the perfect the environment to enhance learning. Then in a cognitive level, we could see that student was able, through the flashcard, to identify the alteration in the words and to see the difference between the minimal pairs. When I presented to him the flashcards, he had the first sound, and then he said, okay, so this sound comes next. And also, when we saw the clip, that he had to complete the lyrics like by filling the blanks, and he had 3 options, A, B, or C. He verbally said the answer and he knew the answer, but there are 2 important aspects there to acknowledge. First off, that he used the words in context. So, for instance, when I asked him, so would you eat them in a box? So when he sees in a box, the word box noun is referred. Okay, we're talking about a place. or would you eat them with a fox? Okay, so we immediately, from the context, he knew what was coming up. And also, we had the three options, A, B, or C. He verbally said it, the correct answer before, but when I asked them, okay, is it option A, B, or C, and he selected the correct one, we could tell that he was actually reading, so he knew what he was reading. So in that moment, I believe we had created the pattern. Language structure was consolidated. We were reading from the phonics, and at that moment, I believe we could tell we succeeded in the strategy and the application of the resource. All right, so I hope you liked this resource. If you are a language teacher too, I hope you could take advantage of everything we have discussed. And thanks for watching. Bye.
Would you eat them in a box, or would you eat them with a fox? Not in a box, not with a fox, not in a house, not with a mouse. I would not eat them here or there, cause I wouldn't eat them anywhere. I would not eat green eggs and ham. Why don't you get it, Samayan?